Welcome to RichTrybe. Have you ever stared at your bank account at the end of the month and felt like you were just completely stuck on the paycheck-to-paycheck treadmill? You work incredibly hard, you put in the hours, and yet somehow the money just slips right through your fingers. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're breaking down the exact systems and mindsets that separate the average earner from the truly wealthy. I'm Rachel, and I'm joined by John, who is going to help us decode this millionaire mindset.
Thanks, Rachel. Absolutely thrilled to be here. Because look, escaping that treadmill, it's not about luck. It's about fundamentally rewiring how you view capital.
So John, let's start with the most painful question we've got. Why does our salary just vanish so fast? It vanishes because modern society is essentially a massive, highly optimized marketing machine specifically designed to separate you from your hard-earned cash. Every targeted ad on your smartphone, every influencer showing off a luxury lifestyle, it triggers a deep psychological fear of missing out. You aren't just battling bad math here. You are up against billion-dollar algorithms that know exactly how to make you click buy. The average person views money simply as an exchange value. They get paid, and they immediately think, okay, what lifestyle upgrade can I trade this for?
But why is it so incredibly difficult to just hold on to the money? Why does that urge to spend feel so overwhelmingly powerful? Well, it comes down to a psychological trap called the hedonic treadmill. Harvard Health and Behavioral Economics researchers have proven that the thrill you get from buying new electronics or, designer clothes evaporates incredibly fast. Usually within just 2 weeks, your happiness drops right back down to exactly where it was before the purchase. So what do? You buy something else to chase that high all over again. You get trapped in this vicious cycle of consumption, and your potential assets completely evaporate before they can even be formed.
And it actually goes way deeper than psychology. We're talking about the biology of your wallet. When you see that shiny new item, your brain releases a hit of dopamine. This completely hijacks your limbic system, which is the part of your brain that demands immediate reward and emotional gratification. It totally overpowers your prefrontal cortex, your logical, long-term planning center. You are essentially fighting a biological war every single time you open a shopping app. The limbic system wants that thrill right now. And frankly, it doesn't care if you have to work an extra 5 years before retirement to pay for it.
Okay, John, I hear you on the biology stuff, but let me push back a bit here. What if I actually need it right now? What if my phone is acting up, or there's a massive sale that literally ends at midnight? How is the average person supposed to handle that overwhelming, totally rationalized urge to buy something that feels absolutely essential in the moment? That right there is the ultimate trap, Rachel. We are absolute masters at rationalizing our impulses. Our brain easily convinces us that a want is a critical need, but wealthy people have a very specific system to short-circuit that exact biological panic. And that system is the 72-hour rule. This is a true millionaire's biological hack. By forcing a hard stop of 72 hours, or 3 full days, you allow those spiked dopamine levels to drop back down to normal. You essentially starve the limbic system of its instant gratification, and that allows the prefrontal cortex, your logical brain, to come back online and take the wheel. It's really not about depriving yourself, it's about protecting yourself from temporary chemical spikes that destroy long-term wealth.
So how do we actually execute this in the real world when that giant buy now button is staring us right in the face? The key here is introducing friction. Step 1, go ahead and put it in the cart. Let yourself have that initial thrill of claiming it. Step 2, walk away. Close the tab, put the phone down, and do not look at it for 3 full days. Remove your saved credit cards from your browser if you have to. Then, step 3, reevaluate. After 72 hours, ask yourself critically, do I really need this? Will this enhance my life's productivity, or is it just temporary entertainment? I promise you, most of the time, that burning urge will have completely vanished.
Okay, that makes sense for saving a few bucks here and there. But honestly, John, why don't we just focus on negotiating a higher salary? If I make more money, I don't have to worry about these little rules, right?
That is a massive misconception, and it all comes down to Parkinson's law of spending. This law dictates that your spending will always expand to eat up whatever income is available. Think about it. If you get a $20,000 raise, you don't typically save $20,000. You upgrade your apartment, you buy nicer clothes, and within 3 months, that new money is just your new baseline. Without discipline, a higher salary just makes you a broke person with much nicer stuff. Salary alone is not wealth.
You really have to look at the stark contrast in mindsets. The consumer sees a $1,000 bonus and immediately thinks, what depreciating asset can I buy right now? They trade their money for instant comfort. But the investor views that $1,000 as seed capital.
They view every single dollar as a soldier in an army built to replace their future labor. They are perfectly willing to accept delayed gratification because they know they are quite literally buying back their future time and freedom.
Okay, I absolutely love that army of dollars analogy. But let's bring this down to earth for a second. I need you to prove this to me with a real-world example. If I ignore the 72-hour rule and blow $1,000 on a new phone today, what is the actual damage? What's the true cost?
I'm so glad you asked, Rachel, because understanding this exact math is what finally shifts people from consumers into capitalists.
The true cost of that $1,000 phone is actually $4,660. Because if you had taken that same $1,000 and invested it in a standard S&P 500 index fund, compounding at an average of 8% annually for 20 years, it grows to almost $5,000. When a wealthy person looks at a $1,000 price tag on a gadget, they don't see $1,000. They see the future $4,660 they are sacrificing. They see the months of retirement freedom they're giving up for a piece of glass and metal that will frankly be obsolete in 2 years.
And let's look at how this compounds over a whole lifetime. According to Bloomberg Wealth data, if you apply just $1,000 of surplus cash a month to these two different mindsets over 30 years, the difference is staggering. The consumer buys cars and gadgets, depreciating assets. The result? $0 in real wealth and a lifetime depending on labor. The investor drips that exact same money into appreciating assets like stocks or real estate. The result? Nearly $1.8 million. They achieve total financial independence. The difference isn't the income you make, it's the allocation.
Wow, over $1 million just from shifting where the surplus goes. But investing sounds incredibly complicated and scary to a lot of people. What if the market crashes right after I put my money in?
And that's exactly why we use systems, Rachel. The most powerful one is dollar cost averaging. You don't need to perfectly time the market, you just automate your investments. You drip feed your savings into the market every single month, regardless of whether stocks are up or down. This completely removes the emotion, the fear, and the greed from wealth building. Consistency, not perfect timing, is what actually builds that $1.8 million portfolio.
To get there, you have to do the internal work first. You must identify the limiting beliefs holding you back. You have to ruthlessly differentiate between a true need and a fleeting want, which of course the 72-hour rule helps with immensely. You need to practice contentment, because constantly wanting more is just a bottomless pit. And ultimately, you must rewire your brain to view money as a tool for explosive future growth rather than just a quick ticket for immediate spending.
Those are incredibly powerful shifts. Before we get to John's final piece of millionaire wisdom and the ultimate question you need to ask yourself today, please subscribe to the RichTrybe channel, like, comment, and share. We want to keep building this community and bringing you the financial literacy you need to finally escape the treadmill.
I absolutely love this quote. Successful people do consistently what others do occasionally. Building wealth is not about one dramatic windfall or a single genius stock pick. It is the result of hundreds and thousands of small, disciplined decisions. It's walking away from the online cart. It's automating that 10% investment every single month. Delayed gratification is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger your financial superpower becomes.
Which brings us to our final thought. Every time you open your wallet, you are effectively casting a vote for your future self. Exactly, Rachel. Your next purchase literally determines your class trajectory. Are you going to succumb to the marketing machine and consume your wealth today? Or are you going to implement the 72-hour rule, break the cycle of the hedonistic treadmill, and actually invest in your future freedom? The math is clear, the biology is clear, and the choice is entirely yours. Start building today.